Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be a live trade video where I try to capture some of my trades as they play out live. Market is already open, has been open about an hour, so kind of a unique situation. I've had some friends here. I'm up at a cottage in northern Michigan, but point being, they just left, and there still seems to be some quality action out there and setups taking place. So while I don't know for sure if it'll be any sort of trades, I like the odds, and I say not for sure because when I say live, I just mean that this is not a situation where everything's already been recorded and now I'm coming back and talking about it or doing a voiceover or anything like that. I am literally looking at the information, the data for the very first time. So if you want unscripted, just a nitty-gritty look into what it's like to be a day trader, how day trading can play out, then you'll get that here. So I'm going to go ahead and pause for now. Currently watching mRNA up here. So that's kind of the one setup, but Tesla also has an interesting setup right now. So if you're not familiar with my screen, just watching mRNA right now, and then this over here is the chart for mRNA. But I will pause for now, and if something does develop to the point where I want to put some money on the line, I'll get the video rolling. All right, I'm looking to potentially get short here at 397, stop right around 399. So this either is going to need a breakdown or I want out, but I do want to see it come down to 397. If I'm going to get in. So risking right around, with slippage, let's just call it $400. So just watching the 397 mark. So this is just going to need to be a breakdown, or I just need to get out. Because I think if this thing can come down at the 397 range, I think it's got a chance to not crash, nothing crazy like that, but at least make it worth it where it could potentially be a nice trade. But all right, well, I will pause, and if it looks like 397 is going to come into play, I'll get the video rolling. All right, maybe it's coming into play here. In there at 397.02. So let's see if we can get the breakdown through 397. As of right now, hovering right around that area. Okay, knocking on the door again. Can it finally push down through this time? There we go. Now can we get some follow through? Starting to get some follow through. Need this down to at least 396 to take off some profits. There we go. Come on down. There we go. Very nice. So let's see if we can get this down below 3. This could still be a losing trade, so I'm not out of the woods yet. But if it is a losing trade, it'll be very, very controlled. But let's see if we can get the move down through 396 now. Again, this could be a losing trade. Clay, why don't you just take everything out now and ensure a winning trade? Because what happens if this thing continues to break down? Then you're going to be sitting here saying, Clay, why don't you hang on to some and let it work for you? So no hindsight here. I don't know what's coming next. Maybe I should be getting out now and this is going to turn into a losing trade. But again, it'll be a much more controlled losing trade. But you got to give this thing a chance to break down some more. So right now, trying to see if this thing wants to get down through the 396 mark. So let's see what it wants to do. So just to reiterate, this is not a recording. I don't know what's coming next. So maybe I'm going to look stupid here and you'll be able to say, Clay, you should have just taken all the gains right now. You would have had a winning trade. But again, the hindsight voice, if this thing continues to drop, will be, Clay, why did you get out right now then? You got out right before it broke down. So right now it's just a question of, does this want to break down further or doesn't it? And now I'm wondering, should I just pause it or... If this does go up over 399, I will be out. So, and it will be a losing trade in that situation. The good news is, by no means any sort of massive losing trade or anything like that. Very controlled and an amount that I'm perfectly happy with, especially from a habit perspective, because right now, this is what you want to do. You got to give yourself a chance to make some money. So now it's just a question of, does it want to break down some more? Or should I have just gotten out? But what I am going to do now is I'm just going to pause, because I'm not going to make you sit here and watch paint dry. But if it looks like I'm either going to start to get some more movement in my favor, or if it looks like I'm going to have to stop out, then I'll get the video rolling again at that point. All right, making its way down to the 396 mark again. Can it push through it? That is the question. All right, well, it was looking like it wanted to make a move down there and test it again, but I'll go ahead and pause. All right, at this point, based on the formation here, I'm going to go ahead and if this thing goes up over 398, I will be out. So that's a nice thing, is my risk as time goes by is lowering more and more. So right now I'm looking at a very small loser, or maybe even right around a break even. Again, I'm watching the 398. So if this goes up over 398, I'm going to be out. But that's a nice thing. Is, give it more time and your risk is going to start to go down. Can it break through 396 here? There we go. There we go. Took out another 25 there. So we'll have 50 shares left. Would love to see this down below 395. 395 is going to be, the really big breakdown point. And if that can happen, then this thing should get moving quite a bit. But I think that's a pretty big if. But let's give it a try and see if it wants to do it or not. So nearing 390, there we, oh wow, look at that big size right there on level 2s. Great example there. Let's see if it can push down through it. Look at that big size. And down through it, excellent. Let's see if we can pick up some more momentum here. Let's see if we can get down through 394. Maybe I'm being greedy here with this next allotment. Potentially, so I'm going to take out another 25 there. Got down through 394. All right, I'm going to take there for $257. So that is exactly why you just hang on to some. Did it require some patience? It did. Was it worth it? Absolutely, because had I been wrong after taking 75 shares off, it'd been right around $150-ish loss, but I ended up turning out to being a $257 loss. And why am I being more aggressive? Well, this thing isn't an uptrend, so that's why I wanted to kind of show it a bit more respect and just hop out. But relative to what I was risking, got a good solid gain there. Very happy with it, and a nice just late day trade. And if I can make this sort of money, when I'm sorry, I don't know. Hopefully the mic wasn't too loud. I just noticed on my recording settings it was like getting up into the red. But point here being, but I moved the mic away and it's still getting into red. So anyways, let me move it away a little bit further, kind of goof around with this a bit. So I don't know, does this sound better? In the comment section, let me know if it now sounds better because I moved the mic a little bit away from myself. Feedback would be appreciated because I'm watching it. Anyways, point being that I was in that trade for how long? Like I said, my buddies just left. I thought, let me check on things. So I got in at 9:44, was out at 9. So let's just call it 7 minutes. Or let's just call it 8 minutes to be safe. $257 in 8 minutes after your buddies leave, after having a great time, and then hopping up, on the computer, finding something, and some money was spent. Obviously, when you're hanging out with friends, having a good time. Not that you need to spend money, but you know what I mean. Spending some money. Getting some good food, all that sort of stuff. And it's all been repaid now, which is kind of the crazy part about trading, is if you're not greedy from a very practical point of view, it's kind of bonkers for me at this exact moment in time to sit here and be like, yeah, just had a great time. Buddies are gone. That money that was spent has now all been repaid for, and plus some. Because like I said, we're good enough friends where we don't need to go like drop a bunch of money to have fun. But some money was spent, but not nearly $257. So like I said, I get it. It's easy to look around social media and see massive numbers and being like, oh, I'm not doing very well because that person has a massive number, and good for them. Like, fantastic, but don't let it corrupt your ability, your results. Because I mean, let's say this has been $150. Still, that would have been crazy. $150 in 8 minutes sitting at home online is bonkers. So, I mean, or if you just look at it from a budgeting perspective, for me to think that everything's now already been repaid for and now I have money in my pocket, I mean, that is a very good situation for me, and I'm more than happy with it. So that's the only trade I'm going to make. I need to kind of go do some other stuff. Like I said, we're up at my cottage in northern Michigan, so I'm going to go help with some other things, get things cleaned up here. But wanted to, like I said, swung by, saw some good setups, and the setup turned out to be very good, and it's actually dropping even more. So again, in hindsight, yeah, I should have held on to those 25 shares a bit longer, but in my mind, it had pulled back quite a bit relative to the context of things, and I was more than happy with it relative to what was risked there. So I'm going to consider that a good victory there. But before I do go, one big request from me: if you do enjoy these live trade videos, if you want me to continue to make them, because they're not easy to make, I'm having to talk to you, I'm having to think for myself, I'm having to execute trades, I'm having to make alerts in the chat room. There's a lot going on, so they're possible, but they're difficult. They take a lot of effort to do, but I'm more than willing to continue to do them as long as I know that there's interest. So if you do enjoy these, two things: hit the like button, leave a basic comment, even if it's just hi, a thumbs up, a smiley face, any of those things. Simple comment, hitting the like button communicates to me that it's worth the time and the effort, and as long as I know that's the case, and as long as I know people are enjoying these, then I have no problem at all continuing to make them. But that's all I have for you. So you don't need to make huge scores. You don't need to make massive amounts of money in order to get practical results. So always look at your results from a practical point of view. I mean, wow, how much money did you make in the allotment of time? And I don't know, look around. Did you just pay for your cell phone bill? Did you just pay for your grocery bill with one? In my case, totally paid for the fun weekend and time I just had with friends. So, I mean, there's lots of ways where I would encourage you to look at your results to keep yourself grounded in reality and not think that you have to be out there scoring massive wins every day in order to be considered a good trader. That's not the case at all. Look at things from a very practical point of view, and I think that'll at least give it a try. And I'm confident that that'll help you maintain a sense of not letting things kind of spin too far out of control, because expectations in reality are pretty far apart. But thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. And again, if you like the video, hit that like button, leave a simple comment down below. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.